welcome back to Dylan's the Lobbies. And in today's video, guess what? We are going to be talking about The Mandalorian, Season 1, Episode 5. But before we do that, Merry Christmas! I got my little tree and stuff set up. I actually decorated the whole house. I still gotta decorate my tree. But maybe I'll do like a little Christmas vlog and show you guys the place. I think that would be kind of cool to do like a little Christmas vlog video for you guys. But we're not talking about that. We are talking about The Mandalorian. Let's get into this. So, as a non-spoiler review, and by the way guys, I mean, I absolutely love the show. I really, really do. And I highly recommend it to you. I mean, out of everything Disney has given us in terms of Star Wars, other than maybe Rogue One, I have really, really enjoyed it. I liked Rogue One. I didn't really like Solo. Almost no one liked Episode 8. And Episode 7 was fun ride. It had very much potential, but looking back on it, it was a little bit too much like Episode 4. You know, I'm one of those type of guys. You know, out of everything Disney has ever given us, The Mandalorian is the absolute best. And I highly recommend the show. If you don't have Disney Plus, go and get it and go and watch this show. But as a sort of non-spoiler review, this is probably my second favorite episode of The Mandalorian. What happens in this episode is pretty simple. So the Mandalorian, he's in his ship, he gets shot down, and there's this kid that wants to be a bounty hunter who hires him for a job, only for them to go on a fun adventure, and that's all I can really tell you by not spoiling the episode. I really think that this episode was a lot of fun, and I absolutely loved it. Now, there's my non-spoiler review. I'm going to get into spoilers for the rest of this video. So, let's go ahead and get into this. So, you know, based on the reactions I've seen of Episode 2 and Episode 4, I can just tell people are... I haven't looked at the reviews or anything. In fact, I just got done eating dinner. And while eating dinner, I was watching The Mandalorian. I just got done doing that just about maybe 10 minutes ago. And the fact is, I absolutely love this episode, but I can tell that people are going to rage on the internet about it because they're going to call it filler. So, let's talk about that. Let's talk about filler for a second. If you go by the proper definition of filler, then perhaps, yes, I can see where you're going with this. This could potentially be labeled fillery. But, is it a filler episode? Definition 1, yes. But definition 2, which pretty much is just an episode to waste the audience's time and waste their time trying to produce something just to make money off of it, which is just a waste of time. If you look at that, you're going to find that this episode is not a filler. It's not a filler. You know, I think of, for when it comes to filler, I think of, I'm a huge anime fan. I think of Naruto. I think of Dragon Ball. The word filler has become this word of something bad, you know. You don't want to watch filler episodes. You want to watch a story episode. But the fact is, all stories, including in the manga, in the story, in the storyboards, in the scripts, there's always going to be a moment of time where you gotta slow down and just have a good story. You know, it can't be just at top 10 the entire episode, because if you do that, you're going to tire your audience out. And this is not what people understand about the word filler. Okay? Filler is not bad. Filler is actually good. Now, if you're just having a filler for the sake of filler, and it's not in any way entertaining, then yeah, it's a pretty bad. One that I actually kind of think of is My Hero Academia. That filler episode with Froppy was fantastic. And I know you guys don't know, you're here for Star Wars, you don't know what I'm talking about at all, but there was this episode about this frog girl on this other anime show that I like to watch. It was fantastic. But for this other episode, there was this whole episode about just a recap episode, and it's like they jumped in the pool and started recapping about their entire 3 seasons. Now, filler episodes like that, I absolutely hate. As for this episode is not a filler. It's just a part of the story. It's a part of the time. People are going to rage about this, and I don't understand why. It is, after all, a really, really good episode. This is definitely my second favorite episode of The Mandalorian. So, let's get into this. Let's get into why. So, my first episode, my first favorite is obviously episode 3. That was just fantastic. But when it comes to this episode, what happens is he's in a ship. Well, of course, he's got the baby Yoda with him. I told you, spoilers. And then somebody flies at him, shoots his ship, says his line about cold and take you in cold. I could take you in warm, or it could take you in cold. And I liked that. I liked the fact that the Mandalorian said, "That's my line," and shoots the ship, blasts it apart. That's really cool. Of course, his ship gets really damaged, and we land on Tatooine, of all places. That was really awesome to hear that we are on Tatooine. We got to see a lot of when I first saw the village, it looked a lot like Tatooine, but all Star Wars kind of looks like that, so I couldn't say for certain that was. I really, really enjoyed the fact that we are on Tatooine. So what happens is the Mandalorian, he needs to find a job. He needs to fix his ship. The ship fixer, the mechanic, is this a lady who I really liked. I never caught her name, and I don't know the actor's name either. But I really liked her. And basically, he's like, "No droids, just fix my ship. I'll get the money somehow." So he goes looking for a job to pay her for fixing his ship. Of course, he leaves the baby in the back, and I love seeing the baby interacts with the mechanic. The mechanic picks up the baby and loves it and holds it and takes care of it, while of course charging the Mandalorian for babysitting. I thought that was funny that she ended up doing that. But what was funny is he's looking for a job, and we actually see that down in the cantina, we are in the original Star Wars cantina, guys. Down in the cantina, we got droids. The rules about no droids allowed, that's gone. Bounty hunters are gone. Pretty much the huts are gone. They've been destroyed. Of course, there's always going to be the Hutt family, but after Jabba the Hutt and his family pretty much left Tatooine, I believe he still owns Tatooine. They just left. Of course, the main Hutt Jabba died in episode 6, so it might be because of that. So what happens after that is he's looking for a job. The droid says, "No job here. We aren't helping any guild members anymore." When a boy says, "Hey, I got a job," shows this hologram of this girl and says, "I need to find her. I need to bring her in alive." And the reason why is because he's not looking for money. He just wants to be part of the guild. And this is his ticket in. He needs to do this big first job to get into the guild. And the Mandalorian's like, okay, I'll help you out. I need the money anyway. So he tries to of course, help the kid out. And they find the girl, and I really like the whole scene with the Sand People and the hand talking that they did. I thought was really cool. I liked seeing them negotiate. I like the fact that the Mandalorian was able to do that and not just pull out a blaster and shoot. I thought that was interesting. But then afterwards, of course, she talks him into going after the Mandalorian. He shoots her. I did not expect that. I expect them to team up, go after the Mandalorian, and the Mandalorian shoot them both out, take them both out. That doesn't happen. She takes her out. And he goes back, finds, of course, the mechanic as well as the child, the baby, and tries to take the Mandalorian down. Of course. Why? Because he is a guild member. He went against the code of the guild. So if the kid got the bounty on this guild member who went rogue, if he got the bounty on the Mandalorian, then he would be a legend. The guild would totally let him in. Of course, we are dealing with the Mando. You really think he's not going to have a trick up his sleeve? He takes out the gun, but he has like a flash bomb behind him. And as soon as he's about to shoot him, the flash bomb goes off. The Mandalorian grabs his gun and blasts the kid dead. The mechanic fixes the ship. The mechanic gets the money. The mechanic says goodbye to our little baby Yoda. I really liked the character of the mechanic. We didn't get much of her. We didn't need much of her. But I liked the interactions she had with the baby Yoda, and I wish we had more. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are on this episode. I know a lot of people are going to rage about it being filler. Believe me, I'd rather watch a normal episode of The Mandalorian 10, 15, 20 times over than watch the Solo movie. I didn't like the Solo movie out. I'd rather watch this 150 million times over episode 8. I still say this is probably more or less a more simple episode, a more common episode. We really get into the feel of the show, but that doesn't mean I don't love it. I still absolutely loved this episode, and I can't wait to see more. Even though this is more or less a regular episode of The Mandalorian, it's still 10 times better than anything Disney has given us for a long time, other than maybe Rogue One. And I'm really, really enjoying it. And I can't wait to see more of The Mandalorian. I can't wait to see his next adventure. Thank you guys for watching, and I am out. Bye.